So I gotta ask, did anyone actually expect Demon Lord 2099 to do this? I think we all walked in with the question of like, damn, is Machina gonna make it? Place your bets now. I walked in thinking 51-49. 51% of her chance of survival, 49% of her chance of death. I actually thought it was a pretty close split. Not exactly 50-50, but close enough. And they did something, I'm trying to think, when's the last time, whether it's a Demon Lord, or even if we go outside a Demon Lord anime, what usually happens with the kind of like, okay, the MC, so big boy Velto over here. So yes, Graham's gonna fight the lackey of Marcus. We'll probably see a bit of it, but usually they do like cutaways, like they cut back and forth, because at the end of the day, it's the Demon Lord's show. He's the MC. I'm trying to remember the last time I've seen an anime with this type of formula where they said, actually, no, like the person who's like, hey, don't worry, I got this, you move on ahead. What usually happens is we then, for the rest of the episode, after the side character in question says, I got this, you move on ahead, we focus on the MC and his battle. And either after the MC's battle's done, you then see the aftermath of whatever they did, or they kind of cut back and forth. But they usually don't let a character like Graham have an entire freaking episode for himself. This might be one of the best episodes of respecting the viewer's intelligence and time, because they do the whole thing in one swoop. Sure, now, are they going to do cutaways because now he's kind of fighting to protect this girl and also himself because of all these, like, mechas that are attacking him? Sure. But it's the fact that I legitimately can't remember the last time I've seen an anime just be so okay with saying, hey, no, like, we're saying he's going to hold back. We're just going to show it to you. We're not going to beat you around the bush. We're not going to cliffhanger you. They didn't even cliffhanger us with Machina falling into the furnace. I really thought they were going to cut away and we were just going to see her fall and then no, like, he saves her. So now I'm up to 70-30 of her surviving. I still think she might self-sacrifice because the furnace does need some fuel, but wow. I have full live reactions over on Patreon if you want to see my full and thought to this Demon Lord greatness over there exclusively. So there's a lot I like about this episode. It's the smallest part of the episode, but I do want to talk about Marcus's chokehold drop. Now Marcus suffers a syndrome known as talks too much as a villain, because had he not held on to her for as long as he did or tormented her, you know, if he just didn't have a speech when he was chokeholding her and let go, she would have been dead. He saved her like within a fraction of a second of her being burned alive and used as fuel. Marcus, he an idiot, but he's the perfect villain you love to hate, which makes me say, like, man, are they actually gonna eliminate him because he's so good? Maybe he gets away, but like Velto thinks he has a way of both saving her and fixing the furnace issues, but he's not nearly known enough to do anything with magic, so I legitimately think either Marcus or her has to die, which is why I'm like, maybe she self-sacrifices because maybe like after he defeats Marcus, the plan he had doesn't actually work, so then she gives up her life because, you know, she wants to help the city because it is almost on empty. But at the same time, I have more of a confidence that she lives at this point, but still, good stuff. The fact that they didn't blue balls us with it, I really thought they were going to. But this show just is like, no, like, hey, we got a lot to show you. There's no use blue ballsing you. You're going to come up with your own damn worries. So the fight between Graham and her, though, very enjoyable. This man basically just says, hey, bro, boss man, I got this. You go on ahead. And yeah, he had that. So we get to see his sword activate in this fight. And throughout the entire fight, I'm not sure if I'm the only one who was questioning. I was like, okay, is that rust on his sword or is that just the design? Naturally, I thought it was like a rust because he hadn't used his sword in a hot minute. But the more I kept seeing him fight with it, the more I was like, you know, that could just be the design of the sword. And I wasn't really remembering what the flashback looked when the hero struck down the Demon Lord. So for me, I was just like, it could go either way. So when he like basically Excalibur Zodia obliterated this woman, it was pretty cool seeing it, the kind of rust kind of peel off of it and him just being a badass. But man, the fight in general was just so cool. Like, they were doing so much. Like, she was actually pushing Graham back a decent amount. The hero was getting pushed back. But the thing is the man's been around the block. Like, this isn't his first rodeo. And I love how it's basically it's a conflict between you're old, the future's now, old man, and experience trumps all. Like, that's the conflicting beliefs. She's of the belief that you're 500 years outdated And he's basically saying, bitch, I'm still in my prime and I got way more experience. Because at the end of the day, the only reason people with more experience do get left behind by newer generations is because their body and mind can't keep up. Simple as that. So the idea of essentially having an immortal hero who is still in his prime, like physically and, well, mentally he's up in the air, but he is mentally getting better now that he's not so depressed. But at the end of the day, he's still like when he fought the Demon Lord years ago. So, yeah, he still has the he's him energy, and the way he just disrespects her, granted, he does give her a lot of respect post-battle, the way he's basically like, hey, this is what I used 500 years ago, or this is what 500 years was used on me. Looks like it's still effective, huh? Technology who? Just absolutely comedy gold. And I appreciate how good the animation was. There was a couple of effects they used, like when like things were getting ruptured, whether it was walls and stuff, and I could see how they were kind of skating around super clean animation, but it still popped out. Like they had a couple of techniques that allowed them to get around some touchy animation that made it, maybe it would have been a little difficult to animate more or less. And the lighting effects and everything, like she had white lightning, which I haven't seen, I don't know when the last time I saw. Usually lightning's like purple or red or gold, yellow in that area. She was using like white lightning, and it honestly looked really cool, different than what I'm used to. And post-battle, we get the kind of like, she's like, hey, you gonna kill me? He's like, nah, I'm good. You can't do shit against me right now, and I did my mission. I'm not a cold-blooded killer. And now he's protecting her. So it will be interesting, because if Marcus lives and she lives, does she go back with Marcus and then kind of have like a, like, oh, kind of like that boy over there, the hero? There's a lot of ways they could take that dynamic, but either way, we're going to see some more action with the hero and Demon Lord versus wannabe Demon Lord. One thing you got to give Marcus credit, despite, you know, being a punk-ass bitch, he actually does feel like a Demon Lord. I've always thought that since the first episode, and it's just more and more true the more he talks. But yeah, had he just not talked 5 seconds less and dropped her 5 seconds sooner, she would have been fuel for the fireplace. That's wild. Let me know what you thought of this week's episode, because please tell me I'm not alone in the idea that, like, when characters are like, don't worry, boss, I got it, and it moves on his way, we always cut to the MC. And yeah, sure, maybe we'll cut back to them and see their fight over the course, but they just never give the side character, because as important as Hero Graham probably will be, he is a side character in comparison to who the MC is. I really can't recall last time I've seen something quite like that, especially in a Demon Lord story specifically, so let me know if I'm alone or if you're also like, damn, I didn't expect this episode to go like this. Thoughts down below. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, of course, ring that bell, and like I mentioned, full live reactions over on Patreon, and hey, while you're over there, I'll just give you a video shout out. So today we got StarCraft 48, Connor Reeves, Green Bean, TMG Gaming 999, Jorid, Jacob McDougal, Hat Guy, and we also have Sage Narf. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care, and you'll have a good one.